what I like to call proper winners. I got my winning mentality, wanting to win, from Alan Robb. I'll go back to Alan Robb in a minute. He, like I say, reignited my love of the game. And Alan Robb was still around. Many people don't know this. A lot of people will probably know all the certain things I do and don't like about cricket. One of the things I don't like, and I don't make a big deal of it, but I don't like non-players going in changing rooms. Before, during, after the game, I think the changing room is for your team, and I don't like having people knocking around changing room that's not part of the team. I don't know what it is, but that season with Alan Robb, he was sort of like team manager, and not just that season, from giving up playing to all the way through with the thirds. And I, particularly when I was captain, I used to love it when he came in the dressing room after the game. Sometimes it was a quick nod through the dressing room door, well done lads, and I made sure everyone gave him the respect that was due. Well done lads. Or sometimes he'd come in and I'd say, "Ush, Alan wants to say something," and it'd always be something that was worthwhile for someone to take on. And I know he used to grab people by the hand if they'd done something, if they got out, or he always used to sit down with them or have a lap with them. So it was brilliant having that. And like I say, I didn't mind Alan Robb coming into the dressing room like I did with other people flying around. But he was around. He was the manager. I'd say manager. He was my manager, basically, was Alan at that time. So we had Alan around. But then we had Howard Mercer, Neil Tattersall, Nick Rowley, and Andy Byrne. Somewhat disparagingly, some of them were called barbecue cricketers by a member of the club, but all them, those four were winners. On top of that, we had Mick Friend, and people who played under Mick Friend will probably tell you he was probably the best captain they'd ever played with. He certainly was the best player, but the most. So how can we say it? I learnt more about cricket on the field from Mick Friend than anybody else. Probably learnt how to play it from Alan Robinson, but little things to look for. He'd be at gully, I'd be at first slip, and I can count on one finger the only time I felt a little bit undermined by him. But one finger in all that time we played together, he never undermined me as captain. He gave advice, and it was always, very often I'd take it, because if Mick Friend told you something, you'd listen. But he also pointed things out without actually telling you what to be looking for. And if you listened enough, you understood what he was talking about. Little things like how batsmen hold a bat and where they can and can't hit it. So we had Mick Friend, and he'd been around. He'd won the second team league in 2000 as captain, and he'd come down to play with Scott and Mark into the thirds. So we had Mick, and we had those four adult cricketers who were winners, and then we interspersed it with a lot of the kids. So in that season, we got to the game. I'm waffling like Tosh. Sorry, I do apologise. I've got to get to another 8 minutes before I get to Tosh's standard. So in this game, we had to win. We had to get 7 points. It was 7 points for a win those days. Sorry, 5 points for a win and 2 bonus points. And we needed 7 points to keep the gap with Clitheroe. And with 2 balls to go, the scorecard that'll come up shows that there was 1.2 overs. I don't believe that to be true. With 2 balls to go, we needed 2 wickets. I brought Neil Tattersall on 2 overs to go. And bearing in mind, I've told you all about these 5 adults. For the last 6 games, we had another winner who come into the side. Daniel Logan had come into the side with about 6 or 7 games to go, and another one who just wants to win the game of cricket. And he'd taken an absolutely blinding catch that day, a right steepler, to take this, I think, the 6th or 7th wicket. Yeah, but with 2 balls to go, we needed 2 wickets, or else Clitheroe won the league. So big shout for LBW. Umpire's finger goes up. With 1 ball to go, we need a wicket. Number 11 strides to the crease, and Tats bowls what could be described as a bit of a wide one. and just that it was going to be a wide, and even the umpire looks like he's going to signal a wide, but just at the last second, the number 11 batsman just decides to go for it and feathers it to Andy Burren behind the stumps, and we go up. And like I say, the umpires think it's going to be a wide. It was and right at the last second, because the batsman's gone for it, the umpire's finger goes up. So we end up with getting the 2 points, the bonus points we need. We ball them out for 200 and single figures, 207 I think it is. And the umpire's giving him out. So that day, the team that I selected, I think the best selection was Chris Riley as umpire. So we have to go into the second innings, and we needed 200 and odd to win, which is not a mean feat in those days at 13. Very rarely you get over 200 in a 13 game back then. So we knew we were up against it, and Edenfield were a decent side at that level. They had some players that, if you look at the scorecard, come through and play senior cricket. But we needed 200 and odd, and we got off to a poor start. We lost an early wicket, but then Logie dug in for a good half an hour for a 20 odd, and sort of we lost a couple of wickets in the meantime, but he stuck up at one end. I do remember, but I came in. I think I came in at 30 odd for 4, maybe. I can't quite remember actually. But me and Mick put about 70 on. Now we'd done it a couple of times that year when the kids had failed, where Annie could fail possibly, and me and Mick had come in with 5 down, and I remember 2 games in particular, one against Northern, where we were 20 off for 5, and we'd managed to get us up to 170. So we just dug in a little bit. But for some reason that day, I batted like a dream, absolute dream. It's the best I've ever batted. There's no two ways about it. But so on a personal front, it was it's my best day on a cricket pitch. But to win it with those lads and win the league with those lads was more special. And to sort of round the whole thing off, to have Alan Robinson there as my mentor, as the person who I tried to put his mark on my teams, if you will, was special. And then at the end of that season, so go back to 1994, talk about having fun. The end of the season, we had an end of season party, and talk about, I'd never known, there was Alan Robinson and Jack Gregson, who was another one who I didn't know at that time was I thought he was a grumpy old man, but Alan Robinson and Jack Gregson did this big celebration party, and it was absolutely fantastic. You ended up getting prizes for all the players that had played. I ended up getting a zip for my mouth. And that was a really good night, and again just reignited the love of cricket that throughout the club. But so to round it all off, the 62 not out I got against Edenfield, and the season the captain of the side for the season for winning the league, I won Alan Robinson's 466 trophy, and taking everything I've won out of the game. There's not a lot. 3 or 4 13 championships, and I won the cup with the seconds last year, which was amazing. But I'd wanted to win the 466 trophy from the moment it was incepted by him, and every year, someone, well, rightly, someone else won it, and I'd hoped that 62 not out would get me the 466 trophy, and thankfully it did. And no matter what I've done in anything in cricket, like I say, it's not a lot, but winning that 466 trophy that year was the proudest moment of my cricketing career, if you will. And basically because I had so much respect for the man, and I hoped that I could take what he'd done and carry it forward, and I hope I did. I hope I carried it. I hope I made him smile when we won things. We won more games than we lost. Always tried to play it with a smile on my face. And I hoped that was in his carrying his legacy on, if you will. So when I won that 466 trophy, as well as getting the 62 not out, as well as winning the league for the lads and the change room we had, just to win that 466 trophy that year was his most special moment in cricket. So yeah, there we go. It was the day before we retained the Ashes, we regained the Ashes at the Oval. So it was a good night afterwards, and it was a good day the day after when watching Peterson. With quite a lot of the lads had stayed over at my house on the Sunday night, and we watched the Ashes regain the Ashes. So it was a cracking cricketing weekend.
Wow, that sounds like a real rip-snorter of a game, and certainly one that lived long in your memory. But I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this week, ladies and gentlemen. So my thanks to Dotty for joining us. Thanks, Dotty.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. I've enjoyed that. Fingers crossed we can get back out there and have a bit more cricket this year and have some more memories to make. Take it easy. Stay safe, everyone.
So it's so long from him, and it's TTFN from me. Join me again next week when I'll be joined by another of the Cherry regulars for another walk down Chemory Lane. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you on the slip side.